Howie, how is it you're still here doing what you do after so long compared to your counterparts that gave up into the full white supremacy capitalist colonialization? Um, I wouldn't characterize. I mean, when you think about my cohorts, I'm what they used to call a 68er, generation of 1968. That was a hell of a year in terms of everything that went on, kind of culmination of the new left. It didn't end there. It went on into the early 70s. And most of my cohorts went into the Democratic Party. And de facto, they did accept white supremacy, capitalism, and colonialization, because that's what the Democratic Party is. They thought they would be pragmatic. Now, that's those that stayed active. Most of them, they're still around. And then a lot of people did deactivate. And so how is it? Well, number one, I think I have a historical perspective, and I know that social movements, social change, it's like you're pounding against the door and it's not budging. And then once in a while, you bust through. It happens in spurts. And you watch social movements, they lose until they win. So just knowing that that's sort of the way it goes is one thing. And then understanding how the system works, having a power structure analysis and understanding how the capitalist economy works and how we got from the New Deal liberalism that was a compromise between labor and capital to the subsequent neoliberal era, which was an assault on labor. Understanding why that happened, how elites pushed it, and then, doing a class analysis. Like the Democratic Party used to have the trust and loyalty of working class people, white working class people included. And since starting with Carter, but really culminating with Clinton, they become the party of educated elites and basically took the white working class and the rest of the working class for granted. And they lost a lot of that white working class. And they don't seem to care. And the Republicans, will pander them with their phony populism like Trump. But Republicans represent the capitalist business owning elite. Democrats represent the high educated professional elite, and the working class is excluded. So that's just an example of where I see potential. So I see if we can organize a party that can appeal and incorporate working class people, actually there are more of us than there are of them. So it's just perspectives like that. That's what keeps me going. And, the independence, I had the independence from the two parties. I saw it in 1964. The Republicans were explicitly racist and the Democrats sat the Dixiecrats instead of the Freedom Democrats from Mississippi. That was so damn obvious that I realized that these elites really aren't any racist, any of them, either party. And then they both got in Vietnam. And ever since then, I could go year by year and give you a long rant on how bad the Democrats have been along with the Republicans. But I'll just point out the latest thing. They can't get their act together to get this basic voting rights stuff passed when we're in a crisis. That's your damn Democratic Party. So it's not a hard decision for me. I think a lot of people go to the Democrats and they think, I got to be realistic. I got to get something done. When you look at what they've actually done, what have they done? They haven't won any major domestic reforms. I don't count Obamacare. That's just public subsidies for private insurance. Still have almost 100 million people don't have good enough insurance that they can use if they got insurance. The Democrats backed up the war in Iraq. Biden's doing everything, as I've said, imperialism hasn't skipped a beat from Trump to Biden. So, people can think, well, they're being practical, but what are they practically doing? They're reinforcing the status quo. So anyway, that's my perspective. That's how I keep going. I still got the fire in my belly because I just can't abide what's going on from the climate crisis to this democracy crisis.